Hi, Don Rowley here from the Colorado Springs Bunjinkan Dojo with another video blog about pedophilia in the martial arts. Pedophiles are a problem in the martial arts. Nobody really wants to talk to them about them. Again, the fear among those that make their living off of teaching is that they make parents scared to bring their children in. They will go out of business. I can't stand still while this problem goes on, so I'm speaking out. Now, last week I put out a video blog explaining the theory that I have about hollow men, that these types lack the inner strength that a man has, and that somehow makes them try to be the most macho in terms of appearance as they possibly can. They try to make up for their inner hollowness by presenting the image of something. So really, again, try to look out for people that are just too much of a macho god of war. You know, they're not just the winner of the Kumite, secret death match, but they're also CIA assassin. They're also, you know, highly placed in military organizations, elite, anti-terrorist groups, things like that. Watch for that. But one thing that you should also be looking out for is what I call wall candy. Candy, of course, is nutritionally void, but tastes good. Wall candy is something that looks good on the wall to impress parents looking to put their kids in the class, but really have no meaning. Part of this is because, again, they're trying to present the image that they are this macho person accepted by all these really macho-sounding organizations. I mean, I talked about the Black Dragon Fighting Society. Yeah, what a great name, Black Dragon Fighting Society. It can't ever be like, oh, let's say the Littleton, Colorado Martial Arts Coalition. Of course, sometimes it is something like the Kempo Karate Family International or the World Head of Sokyaship Council, something like that. But most of the time they tend to be a little bit more macho. Now, what a lot of these things are like mutual legitimation societies. Let's say that I set myself up as the master of Hu Flung Pu, and I get together with a friend who's makes Watamaru style jiu-jitsu, and we form an organization. And of course, as part of the organization, we give ourselves rank. If you don't want to be obvious, then again, I would give my friend rank in my art. He would give rank in his art. We might not even meet each other. We might be doing this through the internet, but we have websites that makes it look legitimate, and we have certificates, of course, to put on the wall. And occasionally we might get together where we all run around in fancy pajamas and call each other master. And sometimes we do that with martial arts instead of a BDSM society. It's really hard for most people just coming into the situation to realize what they're called Soke councils, are all about. They think they are legitimate because they only do a little bit of research. And the way that their websites present themselves, they are the most awesome group of people on the planet. Like they could overthrow a government in 2 days if they wanted to. The reality is that nobody that really is legitimate would want any other recognition other than from their teacher, other than from their organization. If you've got an organization where they got Chinese Kung Fu and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Judo and Penjak Silat and stuff like that, and they're all giving each other certificates, this is not a good sign. This is a sign of people with massive egos and no teacher that they really can take pride in and point to. This is, again, the type of thing that frauds want and the type of thing that pedophiles want. Pedophiles especially love these types of organizations and this type of wall candy because it allows them to not have to link back to where they trained, if they had any training. I do know of a few cases where very legitimate guys with very legitimate skills actually touched their students, went to jail. Yeah, it's not in their best interest to put them in touch with their old teacher because as soon as you do, the teacher's going to tell, oh, by the way, did you know this guy has a thing for 8-year-old girls? So instead they rely on these certificates, which of course could come from a lot of things like the Soka counselor that I'm talking about. They can make them themselves, or even home study video courses. Yeah, this whole thing, again, Ralph Hall was a guy who went to a guy named Richard Van Donk, who is a member of my organization called Bunjinkan, and signed up for his home video study course. He got the videos, he got this membership card from Richard Von Donk's organization, and with that story he was able to convince a lot of people that he was a 10th Don instantly, and got a whole bunch of kids to train with him, and he slept with them, and he went to jail for it. Again, this was great for him because, nobody that, he could show these certificates and he could show these things, and nobody really bothered to ask, well, can I talk to your teacher? Or can I talk to someone that trained with you back in the day? Now, they do that with me, yes, okay, like there's a lot of people in the Bunjinkan that don't like me, and the feeling's mutual, but they will admit, oh yeah, Don, yeah, he was training in Japan, he was translating for this teacher, yeah, I met him there, blah, blah, blah. I can show you tons of people like that. People like Ralph Hall, people like, Van Zyl that I outed, no, they can't do that. That's what you have to look for. You have to look for people that will vouch for him, not just showing up for these conventions for the Black Dragon Fighting Society or anything like that. People that were there with them for years and would be able to tell you, yeah, the guy got busted for whatever. This is, and I'm really down on, again, Black Dragon Fighting Society. I've got a bit of a history with them. In 2016, I was doing a seminar in Lexington. 4 of these guys showed up with Ron Collins, the child rapist, and Ron was trying to get them to fight me while he hid behind them. Didn't work out because I basically said, I'm going to fight Ron, nobody else. Ron, of course, turns and runs away. The Black Dragons were like, what the heck? And they walk out. But yeah, the Black Dragons, again, macho thing, but it is a complete group of egomaniacs, frauds, and worse. Totally incompetent martial artists just flock to them. There's one guy, I think his name is David Dow, or David Daw, something like that. His videos are comedic. I mean, it is hysterical the stuff he puts up about himself. And he once actually, said, the Black Dragon Fighting Society is better than all these other organizations because you actually have to pay to be a member. Well, yeah, that's it. All they care about is if the check clears or not. Let's face it, Ron Collins was able to show up to a lot of their seminars until last year because he screwed up, and they were fine with him being there with their young students. And I just recently found a guy, and this kind of shows a major problem. Richard Von Donk has been known to sell video courses with the memberships and all that to people with felonies. This is not kosher with most people in the Bunjinkan. There's a leeway about it. In the Bunjinkan, there is a rule against people training or being accepted for training that have serious criminal history. With most people in America basically says, okay, serious criminal history means felony convictions. Well, evidently that's not his interpretation. So, and that's only if you volunteer the information. If you don't volunteer the information, hey, who's he to know that if you were on a sex offender list? This is the problem I have with a lot of people that join video courses, is that there's no interaction, there's no realize, oh my gosh, you've ever looked at a person and just realized, this guy is going to kill someone someday. Well, yeah, if you're around somebody for a few weeks, you realize that, you get them out the door. You don't give them membership or anything like that. I reserve the right to do that with my students. If you give me any feeling that you are a bad apple, you're gone. Can't do that with video courses. And again, one of the recent cases with the Black Dragon Fighting Society illustrates this. There's this guy that we were having a piss with, calls himself Lee Mattis Morier. And he's very big on, yes, I'm a member of the Black Dragon Fighting Society, and this is how he says he's legitimate, not knowing, probably knowing that those that know that that's just a joke. One of the guys that I know that's very good at researching these things found out that this guy has 4 felony convictions in another state under his real name of Alexander Lee Murray. And that's the thing, you just change your name a little bit, and even if these guys were going to go and do a web search or a criminal search, it'd be hard to do. That's why I hate them. Again, if you want to avoid the possibility of your child training with a fraud is also a pedophile, you need to do more than just look on a few websites check out certificates and things like that, you need to like ask him. I need to talk to your teacher, or at least, if the teacher is dead, which happens, somebody that can vouch for you from the day and that you can confirm it. I mean, I have got a ton of photos of me training throughout the years. I can put you in touch with people that have trained with me, trained alongside me, taught me. If these people that you are taking your kids to refuse to do that, make excuses that, no, you have to trust me on this, walk away. Walk away now. The only two reasons that somebody that is out in the open teaching will not put you in touch with something like that is A, they're making everything up and and it's just a complete lie, or B, or A and B, they know that the people that they used to train with will tell you about their criminal history or worse. So this is the thing, you have got to look deeper than most people do when buying a toaster. It's your children. They deserve that sort of due diligence on your part to keep them safe. Keep your kids safe.